and welcome to another episode of Sparring Sessions podcast, talking all about MMA, betting, you name it, in the world of combat sports. Today, we're going to break down our best bets for UFC 313, Perreira versus Ankalaev. But first, I have to bring in the man I just referenced, my frequent co-host on this podcast, Jeannie. How you doing today, Jeannie?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited for this fight. You know, it feels like this is like a resolution to a long awaited, like this is a long storyline leading up to this fight. So it's nice to finally get resolution. Knock on wood, you know, hopefully nothing happens. But
I saw a rumor today. Apparently, did you see that one about the Tom
I think
Nolan?
I know what you're referencing. Yeah, Tom Nolan stepping in apparently for Jalen Turner. Is there any validity?
I saw that. We haven't, obviously, you know, we're not media people, but none of our sources, none of the reputable outlets, you know, talking MMA fightings, MMA junkies, have reported on it. Maybe he's a backup. You know, we have what, two? Yeah. Oh, it's just two, but no, sorry, three pretty big lightweight fights. You know, it would be a shame if any of those fell through. It would kind of really hurt the card, especially the co-main. We saw that hurt the card pretty bad recently. But I mean, Jalen Turner, Hoofy, it's probably good to have a backup there. Yeah, we're not here to talk predictions or even fight news, really. We're here to talk bets, win you some cold hard cash. First, betting recap of UFC Fight Night, Kape versus Almabayev. Jeannie, we'll go with you first. You know, you were not on the betting show last week. Obviously, you had your leg in the sparring sessions parlay. We'll get to that. Just from your betting, how'd you do?
You know, I up and down, but I ended up, I went heavy on Cody Brundage at the end of the night. That brought me back. So good job to him. But you know, I started with Charles Johnson. I had two plays on that fight. It was a Charles Johnson decision or Tamirov round 1 KO. And obviously Tamirov didn't knock him out. He knocked him down a couple times. It was like some off balance knockdowns, but couldn't get the knockout. And I did not bet Tamirov by decision. I should have seen that coming. Not going to lie. I had a feeling Tamirov was going to get it done somehow. I also had Chepe Mariscal by decision. Nice. 1 unit on that, but I also had a little bit of money on the KO prop, but I still profited on that. I had Danny Barlow by knockout as well. I was straight betting. I was really confident in him, man. Was not expecting him to get knocked out. That was not on my bingo card. And William Gomi by decision. Yeah, that one hurt. Hyder Emil, man, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Realistically, I probably, if I calculated it all, I did go down on the card, but I put a couple more units on Cody Brundage. You know, I doubled down on it, and I came back. So
yeah,
good job to Cody.
I'll get to that too, but sparring sessions parlay, kind of a, you know, segue here. You had Danny Barlow, that did not hit. I know Will and I were against that. We both picked Patterson in our prediction show, so we do not censor here. We let, maybe we'll try to reason with somebody about a pick, but if somebody wants a pick, they get a pick, you know, on the parlay. So that didn't hit. My leg Ribovic didn't hit. That was a bad bet, or not a bad bet, a bad decision. Bad decision. Yeah, I had Ribovic decision 2, not official. I didn't announce it here, but you know, you add things here and there throughout the week. Plus, what did I get at? Plus 115 or so. Horrible decision. I had him winning 2 rounds pretty easily. And then Brundage Marquez under 2.5. Will wanted to not start the 3rd round. I think that's what we ended up posting. We said under 2.5 here. Either way, you got about the same number. Cash pretty easily. First round knockout for Brundage. As for the betting show, Chris had Pinto decision no bet -400. Sure. I mean, it looked a little. I thought Lane was going to knock him out. I'll be honest.
Man.
The way it was looking, not like before the fight, but he hurt him a few times. Ribovic minus 275 didn't hit. Silva minus 220 hit, although split decision. It shouldn't have been a split decision. And Brundage plus 120. For me, so I mean, betting wise, he profited on the show. I think he threw a few more in there that he got a few bad beats. For me, Johnson did not hit. Douglas Silva and Andrade plus 3.5. That fight fell off before the card, so avoid that one. I went really hard on Brundage plus 120. That hit. Went really hard on Chepe and Ricardo Ramos over 1.5 minus 170. That hit. And then I had a 3-legger Johnson Temerov, Lana Carolina, Montana Del Rosa, which fell off, and Kape Almabayev all over 1.5. I said on the show minus 144, ended up being like minus 170, 175 or so after the leg fell off, voided. So that hit. Pretty good week for me. I went really hard on Brundage. But yeah. So that being said, we are going to jump into our best bets from UFC 313, Perreira versus Ankalaev. Jeannie, you've been on the show before. If you, the viewer, you, the listener, are not familiar, we'll give 4 or 5 of our favorite bets from this UFC card. And then later on in the episode, we'll have some of our, these are the ones we're more confident in now. Later in the episode, we'll have our value plays, ones that not as confident in, line hasn't come out, want to see some line movement. So we'll go back and forth now. Jeannie, you're the guest. Let's hear your first best bet.
So I'll start it off with a fun one. I think this might be, again, maybe you're against me. I'm not too sure, but the co-main event, Rafael Fiziev coming in on short notice.
Yeah.
I like his odds to get a finish over Justin Gaethje. I think Justin Gaethje might be done. He just got knocked out, and I get it's Max Holloway, and I get he survived a long time in that fight, but that type of knockout changes a person.
Yeah.
And Fiziev, that first fight, he was cracking Justin Gaethje. He outstruck him in the first and second round, came out hot, and the biggest issue is that he's coming back from an injury, and we don't exactly know how he's going to perform, but I like his chances coming back from an injury after a year and a half. And he was training, obviously, he's been posting training clips in December through January. And it's he's been training, ready to come back. He was waiting for a Mateusz Gamrot fight, I think. So
yep.
I think Fiziev's going to get a finish here and shock a lot of people. And
what's that number?
Plus 180 for a KO.
Plus 180? Oh, for a KO, not inside the distance?
Yeah,
what is inside the distance?
Inside the distance, it is minus 200. Win inside the distance, decision, no action is minus 200.
Yeah, that's decision, no action. But him, are you at all worried about a sub? I mean, he has 0 subs, but
yeah, not really.
Plus 175, you might as well. But all right, fair enough. Fiziev KO plus 180.
Yeah.
I'll go with mine. I like to play a guessing game here and there. So I have a few significant strike ones as my best bets. What do you think the Leal significant strike line is at?
Oh, that's a tough call.
Tough call.
Alex Morono, they're predicting that goes the distance.
Oh yeah. I mean, over 1.5. We'll talk about it later. That's minus 200.
How many did he get in the fight against Renat? He got he got 107 in a 3-round fight.
Yep.
They're probably thinking 94.5.
56.5.
Okay, so, I way overshot that.
I am hammering that over. I mean, he hit 100 and something. This is going long. They're both strikers for the most part. Morono could wrestle, but I don't think he will. He's more of a striker. And Morono, he doesn't get that many significant strikes himself, but you look at his opponents, almost, if you look back, besides his quick KO of Donald Cerrone way back in 2021, every single one of his opponents has gone over 56.5. significant strikes, and I think that this is going to go way higher than that. So Leal over 56.5 significant strikes. You're next. Oh, I should mention actually this line. I got it off Prize Picks, Bet Online, a few of these other sites. DraftKings will often drop these, so it won't come out at that exact number. I'd be comfortable up into the 60s as well. This is probably going long, and it's probably gonna these are two durable bets. So please continue with your next best bet.
So Mauricio Ralphie's at minus 460. What do you think of getting him at plus 105 by knockout? Because he's obviously going to knock out Bobby Green.
I like it. Plus 105, you said?
Plus 105 for the knockout. You could even get more juice on it, and you could go first round. This is getting a little bit more risky, but you could go first round knockout for Ruffy, and that's plus 325. I'd stick with just the knockout because he could get a later knockout. Like it's not act like he didn't just go toe to toe with James Law on top, but
yeah,
I think he's gonna knock out Bobby Green.
Took him almost a round to KO Jamie Malarkey.
Yeah,
I don't hate that. I might have to sprinkle that, or maybe I'm looking at like a round 1 or 2. Maybe I can get that at a decent number too. Sweet. All right, next up for me, playing the guessing game again. Significant strikes. Bruno Ferreira.
Yes, I like it.
Well, what do you think his significant strike line is set at?
Let me take a look at his past couple fights.
Sure.
Let's see this. I'd say they have it at like 19 and a half or something like that.
19 and a half. They have it at
low.
41 and a half.
Okay. I'm bad at this.
He has never hit that.
Yeah.
In his 6 fights in the UFC. So, he's a power guy more often than not. If he hits you a few times, you're going to sleep, or, even in his, he went 3 rounds with Abu Smagomedov, and I mean, Abu, he only got 29 in that. Bruno only got 29 in that. So I think, this is one where the books are kind of overestimating either his striking accuracy or the fact that he's not going to sleep a boost. So I'm going under on 41 and a half significant strikes. And that's my last significant strike best bet. Don't worry. What you got for me?
So I like Myron Santos a lot. I think Francis Marshall is going to get put out by him. I could take the knockout line of Myron Santos at plus 175, or I could also take Myron Santos point spread at the minus 3.5 point spread at minus 140. I think both of them are good bets. You could go a bit heavier on the point spread, but I do really like Myron Santos by KO. I think he's gonna put Francis Marshall out. If he got knocked out by Isaac Dolgarian. Yeah. And that's not like a knock on Isaac Dolgarian, but I think Myron Santos is a better striker. Yes.
You said plus 175?
Yep.
Any concerns that was a ground and pound TKO? I mean, he had him on the ground. It wasn't a knockdown or anything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I think Myron Santos is pretty well-rounded. I think he's putting out Francis Marshall.
All right. You said plus 175. The KO is what you're officially going with?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got it down. Next up, I am on, I don't know the line to write down for this. You're going to have to help me out with this. Chris Gutierrez is my next best bet. I got him yesterday. You and I and Will have our chat that we kind of talk about our bets in. I got him yesterday at plus 130. He has shot way down to minus 105. Now, this is a weird fight because Gutierrez was on the card versus Matsumoto. Matsumoto got pulled. We didn't think he was going to have an opponent. And then Castaneda, his fight last week fell out versus Douglas Silva and Andrade, and so they just threw him together on this card. Yeah, Gutierrez came in as a plus 140. I got him at plus 130 down to 105. So I'm going to go officially minus 105 here as my play, even though I did get him at plus 130. Maybe by the time this episode drops tomorrow, Wednesday, he's even bigger of a favorite. I don't know if I like him as a huge favorite, but for a guy who's so well-rounded, he's got power, he's got leg kicks.
5 rounds with Song Yadong.
Yeah. And, frankly, I don't rate, I did bet Douglas Silva and Andrade plus 3.5. I was going to bet him straight. He lost to Daniel Marcos. He lost to Daniel Santos. He lost to Nathaniel Wood. These are not Chris Gutierrez, who is only losing to top, for the most part, since 2018, top 10, top 15 ranked fighters. Song Yadong, Pedro Munoz, and draw with Cody Durden. So Chris Gutierrez is my next best bet, minus 105. I got a feeling you're with me on this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris Gutierrez. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the number minus 105. I would expect him to be closer to a minus 150 or minus 200 even against John. Like, I think he's a much better, well-rounded fighter. Has much more experience than John Castaneda. Mm-hmm. I think he this is like a veteran status almost against John Castaneda.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean they're the same age pretty much too, which is crazy.
Yeah. I think he's just going to have much more skills.
Yeah. Same number of fights too. And Gutierrez has had way more in the UFC. Real vet. Taller, 3 inches of height. 4-inch reach disadvantage though. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I think this is a Gutierrez spot. We're together on this one. I don't know if I'm going too hard on it just because of the weird short notice aspect, but yeah. My 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're at 4, right? Yeah. Okay. I got 5 for you. I'm not sure if you have 4 or 5 this week, but my next one, I'm putting it here. I could put it in value play. I kind of want to put it here though. Alex Morono. Why in God's name is he a plus 525 to Carlos Leal? Plus 575 now. I'll take that. Okay, I'm going to change this number. Jesus. I mean, yes, I would favor Carlos Leal. I'm picking Carlos Leal, but these are just 2 vets. He has 9 losses, and this is, Alex Morono is tough as they come. He's lost a few recently, but he has a few good wins the past few years. The grappling's there if he needs it. And we saw it in Leo's last fight. If you're going to decision and it's a high output striking affair like this, I'm guessing will be, you can have those cards go right. You can steal one that you probably shouldn't have. And for plus 525, the value you're getting there, I'd put him at like plus 150 maybe if I was lining this. So this is insane to me. I'm putting him in as the best bet. It's a value play for sure, but at this number, it's got to be a best bet. I don't understand it, but yeah, that's my second to last one. You got any more for me?
Yeah, I got a few more. I'm going to the main event. I'm going the under 2.5 rounds plus 130. He went under 2.5 against Yuri, against Jamal Hill, against Yuri in both fights against Yuri. Even in the last Israel Adesanya fight, the only one that went over is the Jan fight and the Khalil Roundtree fight. And I think Magomed's getting put out, man. I really do. I got a feeling. But there's also a chance Magomed could get a KO against Alex Perreira. I don't see this going long. I think it's getting the under 2.5, and I like the number. It's a plus money for the under. So I'll take that for sure.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, the big worry here is that Magomed
Wrestles
pulls
him all that,
Magomed.
but he averages one takedown
Yeah.
every 15 minutes. That's not a
No,
lot.
I'm with you. I'm not betting him just because I already have so much money from just like I've thrown so much money at him in this matchup. He was like plus, I forget what he opened at exactly, but I have it right here. He opened at plus 130, and I threw some money at that down to plus 115, threw some more money at that. This is months ago, plus 175. I don't know if they're going to value it because it was like 4 months ago and then they took it off and put it back on. But I've got a ton of money. It's not going to be one of my best bets, Pereira, but I'm with you. I agree. My last best bet, though, 2-leg parlay. I like my cheeky little 2-leggers. Jordan Santos and Curtis Blades money line plus 100. Put them together. I think Blades is getting like he's minus 300. I think he's getting a pretty easy fight for him. He's the number 4 ranked guy in the division. And as long as he shoots, I mean, even if he doesn't, Kuniev doesn't have a ton of power. A lot of his wins are late, by KO or late. And, by accumulation or body shot or ground and pound TKO. I don't think he's going to wrestle Curtis Blades here. I think I would pick Curtis Blades on the feet, probably. I would pick him on the ground for sure. And then on the other side, I think Ozzy Diaz sucks. I think he's an awful fighter. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I mean, every time you put him in there with like a UFC level guy, he loses. And Jordan Santos, I was thinking about him by KO. He is like a wide range of decision, KO, submission. So I didn't want to pick him straight. I picked him straight. I didn't want to pick him by prop or anything. And him beating Will Curry, I think Will Curry on the Contender Series is a better fighter than Ozzy Diaz, who's in the UFC. So whatever you want to say about that, you can get Jordan Santos at minus, I think it was 195, somewhere around there, minus 200 maybe. Yeah, minus 192. You can get him right now. So those together plus 100. I like it. So yeah.
So this is I'm kind of tailing off of one of the ones you just said. I like Curtis Blades against Kuniev. I had there's 2 plays I kind of want to play here. Okay. Sprinkle a bit on both. You can do Curtis Blades by knockout plus 130, Curtis Blades by points plus 180, and whichever way it goes, you're profiting. It's not going to be a major profit, but have like 1 unit on the decision, 1.125 on the KO, and then you're in a good boat.
Perfect. I wouldn't hate a spread bet minus 3.5 either. You could probably get that. Is that out? I haven't checked actually.
I think it should be on
BO. Yeah. Let's take a look. Minus 3.5, minus 160. I like that a little bit. I'd like it a little more like minus 140, but I don't know. That's whatever. Is that an official best bet for you, or are you just mentioning that?
Yep, that'll be an official best bet.
Okay. I'm figuring out how to write it down. Sprinkle.
Yeah. It's like a play both type thing.
Yeah. Okay. 6 best bets, Cheney. You were banned from the show. 6 best bets. All right. No, I'm just kidding. I like it. So next up, we're going to go into our sparring sessions parlay of the week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll make this one pretty quick. Will has already given us his pick. Jordan Santos to not go the distance. I like it. Ozzy Diaz is not Jordan Santos. Jordan Diaz to not go the distance. Diaz has been KO'd. When he loses, he gets KO'd. I don't hate it. For myself, I'm going to go Morono Leao over 1.5. Two guys who are decision merchants. Two guys who always go pretty late, except for when Morono's fighting Cowboy Cerrone and KOs him quick. And you can get that around -200. So I like as a parlay leg. And Janie?
I'm going Bruno Ferreira. He nearly had Abus out a couple times in that fight. He was really close, and I don't understand the hype with Armin Petrosyan. I really don't.
Put those three together, and you are looking at. I wrote it down and then I deleted it. I believe we are at +4 something. +478.
Ooh.
That's with the under 2.5 for the Diaz Santos fight. Decision has not come out yet, but we'll probably get a little lower, calling it +425, +400 maybe. So I'll go with +425 for now. Obviously, we'll post on our Instagram, the official one. So just to recap and for the clip, our recap for the sparring sessions parlay of the week, I'm going with Morono Leao over 1.5, -210. Will is going with Jordan Santos to not go the distance. We don't have a line for that yet, but we will soon. Janie, you're going with Bruno Ferreira, money line +138. And you put those together, we're going to get around +425. So yeah, that's the sparring sessions parlay of the week. And next up, we have some value plays worth mentioning. I mentioned it before. This is just our segment to kind of shoot the shit about random lines we like, or lines that haven't come out yet, lines that might change. I'll kick us off first. I say we go 2 at a time here. These are, we don't need to spend a ton of time talking about these, 2 or 3 at a time, get them all out of the way. I'm going to go with Race Rhea under 39.5 significant strikes. He has not hit this in any of his UFC fights. He is a grappler. He does not like to strike at all. You look at some of his recent significant strike lines, and significant strikes, I should mention, do not count ground strikes for the most part, unless it's really impactful. Only strikes at distance. So Road to UFC and UFC 303 debut, 17 strikes, 15, 23, 39. But that was against a guy who I do not value very highly at all. So under 39.5, that's what they have the list at. Myron Santos under 64.5 significant strikes. He is another one. I think he KOs Francis Marshall early. He got 31 in his fight with Con Offley, so half of that, and that went, to a round and some change. And Francis Marshall, you look at his opponents. Francis Marshall typically does not. Most recently against Bazooka got 66 in a decision. So that's a little concerning, but for the most part, his opponents are getting under because either it's a grappling affair, he's finishing them, or they're finishing him. So those are my first two. What do you got?
So first off, I'm going to give out Alex Perreira round 2 KO +650. Great number, and I think that's where it's ending, and they're. Okay. I'm not wrong in the main events most of the time. My records show my record, man. And I really think he's getting out Magomed. I don't have a line on the next one. Do you have a line on Joshua Van by decision?
Let me check. I feel like I looked at it, thought, and did not want to play it. Let me go to. I feel like it was like slightly plus money, but I could be wrong.
If it's plus money, I'll take that because I mean, there's a chance he knocks out Race Aruya, and Race Aruya can't hang.
Let's take a look.
I'll change. I'll do Bahamondes Turner does not go the distance -200.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking at some props here. Oh, never mind. They don't have it. Yeah, weird that props haven't come out for this fight yet. If you can get it, but mention it. You said if you can get it at plus money, probably worth a play or two, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so my next two are going to be Gutierrez Castaneda under 2.5 at plus 250. I think that's a weird line. I think it's way too big of a number. These are not finishers. This is short notice. It's a weird fight. Anything could happen. Maybe Gutierrez is just so much better that he gets a KO, but who knows? Okay. This kind of just goes against what you said earlier, but Fiziev decision plus 225. I don't think he's going to KO him just because, hear me out. Gaethje is pretty durable. I know he just got KO'd, but that was in a fight. I think that's just like the last 10-second effect where he's like, he was opening up and he was just throwing strikes randomly. Defense wasn't what it was. He has decent defense. I mean, he gets hit a lot, but very, very durable. Only really gets put out late, 4th, 5th round, except for that, except for the 2 subs, which are first round, but I don't think Fiziev is going to sub him. So I say him by Rafael Fiziev by decision. He just does enough and doesn't KO him. I know I said 2. I got a third one just because it's super related. This also kind of goes against your best bet, but decision, no bet, Gaethje plus 150.
Okay.
That goes hand in hand. I think if it's a finish, it's going to come from Gaethje. And so plus 150, I like it as opposed to his money lines at like plus 110. And also decisions get weird. We saw it last time. I thought Fiziev won, but so those 3, I guess, are my next value plays. What else you got?
Did you say Jordan Santos by decision or by KO? Sorry.
I have it later, but I did not. Please steal it from me.
Okay. I like Jordan Santos by KO. That's plus 260. Pretty good line. Ozzy Diaz isn't great. And yeah, he just got knocked out in his last fight, so I could totally see Jordan Santos putting him out. And the next one, this one might be a controversial one, but when you this kind of just a fun play. You got a women's fight, you got to go fight goes the distance, and it's minus 230. It's not the best line, but it's still playable a little bit. You can make a little bit of money on that, and that's always fun.
Okay,
that's how you play those fights.
Can you repeat that?
The Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo fight to not go the distance or to go the distance minus 230.
Minus 3. Okay, interesting. That's gonna go against my next one, which is Lemos KO plus 650.
Oh, really? Okay.
You look at her, she's pretty much getting, she has some sub skills. She subbed, when did she submit? I guess nobody recently. She gillied Michelle Waterson Gomez, who was on her way out, but KO'd Marina Rodriguez.
It was a wonky finish, though. It was a weird stoppage. It's quite early.
It was a weird stoppage. I didn't hate it at the time, and I had money on Marina Rodriguez by decision in that fight. I think it's a crazy number. I mean, Yasmin Lucindo has not looked phenomenal. I think she wins a decision against Lemos, but I think Lemos' best way to victory is just kind of, we've seen a few of these young Brazilian women get, KO'd, really. That's kind of how they've been losing. You look at Yasmin Yargi, you look at, I'm blanking on the third one, but you look at some of these and they're losing by KO. So 650 is a large number for a woman who the majority of her wins, 8 out of her 14 wins are by KO.
There's definitely value.
So that's the last of my value plays. You got anything more for me?
No.
All right. We'll get into the final segment here. I did this with Chris last week, and I want to do it with you today. It's a little surprise for you because you were not told in advance about this. UFC Fight Night, Dolidze versus Vettori 2, look ahead. It's a horrible card. I figure we can get started on betting early. The majority of the lines change for fight nights, especially week of. So maybe there's a line or two here which really gets your blood pumping, So I'm going to read them down. I want to get just any minor thoughts you might have, or even if it's nothing, I hate this card, I don't want to talk about it. Wouldn't be good podcasting, but that's up to you. So Damon Blackshear is a minus 360 to Cody Gibson's plus 285. Okay. Su Young Yu is a minus 700 to AJ Cunningham's plus 500. Kevin Vallejos is a minus 340 to Sungwoo Choi's plus 270. I'm assuming you're looking at the lines. These are more for
I'm just scrolling through the card.
More for the audience. Waldo Cortez Acosta minus 175 to plus 145 for Ryan Spann. Stephanie Luciano minus 250 to Sam Hughes plus 205. Andre Lima minus 298 to Daniel Barres plus 240. DR Nergoze, sure, minus 218 to Brenson Hibiero plus 180. Jose Nunez minus 225 to Priscilla Cachoeira plus 185. Josias Musasa, I'm guessing is his debut, minus 500 over Carlos Vera plus 380. Evan Elder minus 155 over Markel Medeiros plus 130. Curly Judice minus 535 over Uniesi Dubin plus 400. Chidin Jaguani plus 180 to Gillespie dos Santos minus 218. Alexander Hernandez minus 175 to Kurt Hallbaugh plus 145, and Marvin Vettori minus 130 to plus 110 on Roman Dolidze in the rematch in the main event. So just read a ton of numbers at you, ton of names.
What did you say the line was for the Yunzi Dubin Carly Judice fight?
Minus 350, 535 on Judice, plus 400 the other way.
Plus 400 for Yunzi Dubin?
Yeah.
She just annihilated that chick on the Contender Series.
Yeah. A great LFA champion too.
She just stiffed her in like 5 seconds.
Yep.
She's a plus 400 against Carly Judice, who's 3-2.
Yep.
All right, I'll probably take that. I also like Daniel Perez against Andre Lima. I think Andre Lima is getting overhyped, and I don't think he's that impressive. I really don't.
Nope.
I think Daniel Perez takes that home. He only lost to Jafel Fieldho. That's 17-6, but that record doesn't really reflect how good he's been doing.
No, I'll be honest. I would probably look at like
the point spread, maybe for Perez.
The point spread. Yeah, even the point spread, I don't know about. I might look at like round one, maybe round one. I mean, he's kind of gassy, and you look at these guys. I just don't think. I don't know. That's for a different day. I would look at a prop there. There's going to be some juicy props. For me, some numbers that just pop out of the page. Dubin plus 400, absolutely hammering that. Carly Judice is not great. Kurt Hallbaugh plus 145 to Alexander Hernandez. That one surprised me a bit. Might look at Kurt Hallbaugh there. Markel Medeiros, pretty hype Contender Series guy. Plus 130 against Evan Elder, who Will might not like that, but pretty mid here. So far.
Mean, Medeiros did not win his last fight, no matter what the decision said. I think what's his name, Quinones, Landon Quinones. I'm pretty sure. I think Quinones should have won that fight. Thought that was a pretty clear robbery.
Oh, not a debut. What am I saying? Yeah. I scored it for him, I think. But Evan Elder, Topology says this fight is off. So, I mean, we'll have to see. Evan Elder just has not. I mean, he's lost to guys way worse than Markel Medeiros, and maybe not way worse, but worse than Markel Medeiros, and his wins have not impressed me in the UFC. That, and then the other one that stood out to me, This is a bit of an odd one. Well, there's a few. Will is going to bet Sam Hughes. He always does. She might stage a comeback. Cody Gibson plus 285 against Damon Blackshear. It's a weird one. Cody Gibson's looked great since coming back, and Damon Blackshear.
Is his last fight getting knocked out against Jamal Emmers?
Yeah. Not Jamal Emmers.
Not Jamal. That's the wrong name. Montel Jackson. No, he came back against Cody Stamen.
Did he? Okay, well, that's Cody Stamen. But, Damon Blackshear has some losses. Cody Gibson can wrestle. I don't know. I might look at that one. And then last but not least, I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact that anybody's an underdog in the Josiane Nunes-Priscilla Cachoeira fight. I don't know why either of them would be a minus 225 favorite. They are.
Josiane Nunes is the favorite?
Minus 225.
Yeah, okay.
I
could understand it.
She's awful, but Nunes, this is just going to be a sloppy striking fight, right? And
yeah.
I hate to say this. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. I won significant amounts of money betting Priscilla Cachoeira. She was a.
How do you do that?
She was a big underdog to.
You took her against Ariane Lipski?
I took her against Lipski. I took her against Mazzani. I took her against Dobson, all by KO, because that's how she wins.
Yeah.
And all those KO lines were like plus 400, plus 500. So I'm going to do it again here. Probably a bad decision, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. But that's for next week. Thanks so much for coming on, Jeannie. I hope you had fun. I hope you make some money. Maybe not on the one that we differ. Maybe I won't end up betting that. You got the Genie lamp.
Just rubbing it for good luck.
Sure. As long as it's the only thing you rub for good luck. Thanks, Jeannie. And thank you for listening, for watching. I hope you win some money. I hope you follow our picks. Or maybe you don't follow our picks and bet the opposites and you make money there. I don't hope that. But either way, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.